Hey third grade class, I miss seeing you guys every day. Today we'll be learning a new chapter in English on linking verbs.
All right, get out of here. No, Elena wanted to say hello to you guys, and I miss you guys too. You know I do, and thank you so much for your kind comments and funny little jokes and things that you've been sending over the comments and your email. I miss seeing you guys. But we are starting a brand new chapter in English. But before we start, let me ask you a couple of questions to see how sharp you are this morning. All right, listen to this sentence, and you're listening for the verb. All right, the first sentence is, the boy found gold in the creek. The boy found gold in the creek. What's the verb? Did you say found? If you did, you're correct, because you can find something. Can you imagine a boy outside by the creek and, whoa, and a nugget of gold? Yes, found. All right, listen to this sentence. West Virginia produces coal. West Virginia produces coal. What's the verb here? Say it louder. Right, yeah, it's produces. Again, produce, you can see someone working in a factory, and then you can see products being moved out on a conveyor belt. Produces. All right, what about this one? Some plastics contain talc. Did you say contain? I hope you did, because contain is the verb. All right, and one more. All right, the miners are panning for gold. What's the verb here? Did you say are panning? I hope you did, because are panning is your verb. I can picture somebody squatting at a creek, and they've got this little old rusty bent up pan, and he's got water in it, and he's swirling it around, and all of a sudden we see all the other stuff floating up to the top, but the gold is way down because it's heavier and it's sparkling in the sun, and he says, there's gold in their heels. Can you see it? Yeah. Of course. All right, so what do all of these verbs have in common? The verbs were found, produces, contain, are, panning. They are all action verbs, right? And we've talked about this before. We had this chapter earlier. An action verb is a verb, something that you can do. You can run, you can sweat, you can huff and puff. They're action verbs. Things that you can see someone doing. But it can also be things that maybe you don't see someone doing. Thinking, hoping, loving. Those are also action verbs. Well, today we're going to talk about another type of verb called linking verbs. Now, if you don't already, have out your packet for the new chapter. Linking verbs at the very top. Let me just go ahead and read it for myself. It says many verbs show the action of the subject in a sentence. Okay, those are the examples that I just gave you. But it says some verbs do not show action. A linking verb does not show action. All right, and then there's a definition. A linking verb links the subject to an adjective or a noun in the predicate. Now, just to go back, is for adjectives, you might be saying, oh, Mrs. Smith, what was that? Remember, an adjective is a word that describes. We like adjectives because I could just say, I ate popcorn. But if I add adjectives, watch this. I ate buttery, hot, fluffy, crunchy popcorn. Is your mouth watering? Yeah, mine is too. I really do wish I had popcorn. But all of those are adjectives. Fluffy, crunchy, buttery, hot. It helps you to paint a picture in your head. Well, linking verb can connect a subject to an adjective. Those words that we like to use to help someone make a picture in their head. And then linking verbs also link the subject to another noun and the predicate. Now, we just had that maybe 2 chapters ago. A noun is a person, place, or thing. Boy, cat, school, bus, all of these are nouns. All right, now before we go ahead and, well, here, let's look at the example. All right, the example that you see in your book, I'm just reading along, and then I'll go to the chart that I have in the back. It says when the subject is linked to an adjective, the adjective describes the subject. For example, let's look at our first sentence here. The nugget is shiny. Now, I always tell you that the very first thing that you do is you look for your verb. You might say, oh, but Mrs. Smith, I don't see an action verb. No, maybe you don't see an action verb, but maybe you see, and I'm sorry for all the noise, but maybe you see one of these words, okay? These are our linking verbs. The linking verbs are Am, is, are, was, were. Am, is, are, was, were. If you see any of these words in a sentence, a signal should go off. These are linking verbs most of the time. Sometimes there are other things, and we'll talk about that later. All right, so the first thing that we need to consider is, well, do we have any action verbs in our sentence? Nope, nothing in here that I can do. So I stop and say, oh, well, wait a minute. Do I have one of these linking verbs? Am, is, are, was, were? And it's right here, is. So from there, and I'll underline this twice, is my verb. I would ask, well, who or what is? In other words, I'm looking for the subject. Who or what is? The nugget. And we know that we generally underline our subject once. So what a linking verb does is this, watch. The nugget is what? It's shiny. Is linking nugget to shiny, okay? All right, so this is an example of where the linking verb is connecting the subject to an adjective in the sentence. All right, another thing that a linking verb does is it links the subject to a noun in the predicate. All right, so gold is a metal. All right, again, the first thing that you would do is find the verb, and we start with our action verb, something that you could do. I don't see anything in here that I can do. I can't metal, I can't is, and I can't gold. So I go back to my list. Okay, let me check for linking verbs. Am, is, are, was, were. Any of these words in the sentence? Sure, I see the word is. That's my verb. And then I ask myself for the subject, who or what is? Gold is. And then to find out what it's linking it to, the gold is who or what? It's a metal. Okay, so in this case, is linking the subject gold to another noun in the sentence, because metal is not an adjective, it's a noun. All right, so you see that linking verbs link either the subject to an adjective, or it can link it to a noun. And what are those linking verbs? Am, is, are, was, were. Am, is, are, was, were. Am, is, are, was, what? Were. Am, is, are, was, were. All right, I want you to be practicing those, because if you can remember those 5 linking verbs, you'll have no problem finding them in a sentence. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the guided practice that you see there, and let me get my smart board together. Just a minute. Real fancy smancy, isn't it? All right, okay, there we go. All right. Okay, so for the example or the directions, in this first part, it says to underline the main word of the subject part once and underline the verb twice. And then we're going to write A if it's an action verb and then L if it's linking. Now, I hear the directions, but really, it should become a habit. Look for your verb first. And once you find your verb, then we'll go back and we'll find our subject, okay? All right, so let's get down to it. All right, number 1, the mind, is that supposed to be the miner? I'm sorry. The miner panned for gold in the river. All right, the first thing that we do is you look for the verb. Now, if you're looking through here, do you see a word that shows action, something that you can do? The miner panned for gold in the river? I do. I see the word pan. All right. Again, I could picture somebody sitting by the creek and they have their little pan there. They're swirling it around. Yeah, pan. All right, who or what panned? The miner did. Okay, so that's our subject. So for number one is an action verb. So you can put an A. I forgot to put my little line, so you put it in the front, but A for action. Number 2, his name is Old Pete. Again, the first thing that we do, look for an action verb. Do you see something in the sentence that you can do? I don't. All right, so we're going to look for a linking verb. And what are they? Am, is, are, was, were. Do you see am, is? Oh, yep, I see it right here. Is my linking verb. And then from there, who or what is? His name is. Okay, so in this sentence, we have a linking verb. Okay, all right, number 3, the water was very cold. Any action verbs here? I don't see any. All right, so am, is, are, was, were. Am, is, are, was, were. I see was. Yeah, I'm underlining it twice, was. And who or what was? The water. Okay. All right, so here again, we have another linking verb. All right, what about for number 4? The gold swirled in the bottom of the pan. All right, looking for an action verb first. Do you see anything that you can do? Yeah, okay, I hope you said swirled, because a swirl, now it says the gold was swirling, but swirling, okay? Yeah, that's an action, something that you could do. Now, who or what was swirling? It was the gold. All right, oops, sorry. So swirled, action verb. All right, for number 5, the miners were hopeful. All right, anything again that you can do. Now, don't be confused with hopeful. You can hope, but the word is hopeful. I can't hopeful, so that doesn't count. And so let me go to my linking verbs. Am, is, are, was, were. I see it right here. Yeah, were. That's my linking verb. And who or what were? The miners were. Okay, so we have a linking verb for this one. All right, now for numbers 6 through 7, it says to underline the linking verb twice, and then this time they're asking us to draw a line between the linking verb and the subject, to whatever word in the predicate. It could be an adjective or it could be a noun. Okay, so, all right, same thing. All right, number 6. Some miners were successful. All right, now we don't have to discuss whether or not it's an action verb because we've been told. So we're looking for am, is, are, was, were. Again, there it is. So were, here's my verb. And who or what were? The miners were. Okay, so that's my subject. Now to find what word it's linking it to, I would ask myself, the miners were what? They were successful. So I'm drawing a line right here. Very good. Were is linking minors and successful together. All right, and then one more before you get to do your part to see how well you're doing. Number 7, one gold mine is a museum now. All right, again, we know that there's no action verb, so we're looking for am, is, are, was, were. And I see the word is. All right, so let me underline it twice. And who or what is? One mine is. And the mine is who or what? The mine is a museum. So the linking verb is linking mine to museum. All right, so what I'd like for you to do is on page what page is this? Page 190. Okay, you're to complete numbers 1 through 11 on your own. You're going to pause the video, and then you're going to see how well you did. All right. No peeking.